Radio Free Skaro.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Radio Free Skaro, episode number 767. Welcome to November, everyone. I am Stephen in Edmonton.
Warren in Vancouver.
And Chris in Edmonton.
Yeah, November. We're here. We're here in November. How about that?
Well, we're recording this on October 31st, so don't get too ahead of yourself.
I know, and we're also
World
like
could end tonight.
There's an extra hour to work with as well. Like if you think like the wait for November has been like long enough, it's like here's an extra hour just for fun.
Yeah, thanks for that time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yep. Be safe, everyone. Big day on Tuesday in the U.S. Make the right choice, America. We're kind of tired of all this, so
Yeah, we're sick and tired of your nonsense.
Yeah. So do that stuff. Today on the podcast, a monumental episode. Fugitive of the Judoon is the commentary, our Series 12 commentary. Connie Gibbs drops by to join us for that, the commentary on that. So stay tuned. But first, hey, we kick off as you may have noticed. We at the beginning of these commentary series we chose a James Bond theme because Spyfall was very James Bondy. So we thought, hey, literally minutes before recording the first episode, we thought, well, what we should do are name them all after James Bond movies, and so we did, and they more or less have worked out. And today's episode is called "You Only Live Twice," and of course, we lost Sean Connery this weekend at the age of 90. Yeah, how prescient of us to choose a James Bond, and then
how coincidental.
I know,
yes.
And then because 2020 has been so long, I assumed that we had lost Roger Moore earlier this year, but he died in 2017. So anyway, no.
One true James Bond.
Yeah,
I will die on this hill.
I know, I'm a big Roger Moore fan, but I mean, Sean Connery was the original, you might say.
Well, yes, I know.
He was a titan.
As far as Roger Moore goes, I've greater memories of him. I have greater memories of Roger Moore in Cannonball Run 2 than I do from James Bond.
CTV used to show For Your Eyes Only a lot, and so that's why I'm a Roger Moore fan.
Oh, okay, listeners, I
purely due to be born when I was.
I started this off thinking, yes, we lost Sean Connery, and immediately we go to Roger Moore in Cannonball Run.
He's really good in
2.
Indiana Jones: Last Crusade.
He is amazing.
If I had to pick a favorite Connery role, it would be that.
I think that would be
Hunt for October, also pretty good in.
Yeah, I have to admit, I never really grew up with James Bond and haven't actually watched that many movies, but obviously he's the icon. Here's my one Sean Connery anecdote, and it's not really even an anecdote as much as a supposition. A few Gallifrey ones ago, Jason Connery, his son, was there, and I interviewed him for our RFS. I can't remember what year it was. And he was talking about, because of course he was in Vengeance on Varos, but he was also in Robin of Sherwood, and he was saying, oh yes, I remember my dad watching Doctor Who with me, and we watched he always said, well, what's the Doctor Who, and with the Cybermen, and he kept calling them Cybermen throughout the entire interview. And I thought afterwards, okay, that's odd. I'm not going to correct him because that's rude. And then afterwards, I thought, why would he call him Cyberman? Because Sean Connery told him that. Oh, it's a son of Cyberman, because he probably with the Scottish lisp, he probably called them Cyberman, even though they were pronounced Cyberman. So I've thought that perhaps Jason Connery has been learning words incorrectly, perhaps because of Sean Connery's famous pronounced lisp, as according to the various impersonators over the years. So that's my Sean Connery anecdote through Jason Connery and making fun of the way he said Cyberman. Yeah. Damn legend, though. Damn legend, James Bond. Those movies helped inspire Doctor Who, really, when you think about it, in the 1970s.
That's true. I was going to say, how? Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. The unit. I mean, it came on from James Bond because the other British television was kind of doing that. They said, well, let's try it with Doctor Who, and that was kind of the mentality of it all. So, yeah. Yes, our icons are passing, sadly. Thankfully not Tom Baker as I segue into that, Chris. Don't get alarmed. But there was a great article.
I know where you're going. It's fine.
Great interview with Tom Baker in The Guardian this past week because it's the 40th anniversary of his announcement leaving Doctor Who. October 24th was the actual day. Shortly after Meglos dropped, we thought, let's get him. Let's end on a high. Meglos just ended. Let's let the world know that Tom Baker is now leaving. It was actually about to be leaked, which is why they told it. But so yeah, it's a great interview, and you read it, and you could just hear how Tom Baker speaks in your head, and that's what was going through my head the whole time. I think I could just hear his sort of like more reflective tones that he has, and his sort of dramatic pauses and stuff, and. Yeah, damn icon is Tom Baker. 2020, you protect Tom Baker with all your power because he is a national
I've had enough
treasure.
of your nonsense, 2020.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Joey Moss.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That was a real.
I mean, so nothing
kick to
to
the
anybody
ghoulies,
else
I gotta
at
tell you.
Edmonton, really, but yeah.
No. He was.
But if you're from Edmonton, it's a big deal, man.
Yeah, he was an icon here. So yeah, November. Starting off great. We're all happy. Everyone's really happy here.
Yeah.
In November of 2020. For those of you who were going to go to Gallifrey 1 in 2021, obviously you aren't now. It's been moved to 2022. But of course, the great thing is that they have moved. If you manage to get a hotel room at the LAX Marriott in 2021, that has also been bumped to 2022. They haven't got around to the paperwork aspect of things yet, of moving it, but it will be. Gallifrey 1 actually posted, don't worry, it's going to happen. Don't fret thinking that you're going to get charged for a hotel room in February 2021, but just be patient. So that's a thing. I know, Chris, you were like sort of like going,
I was because I mean the original time frame had gone past, and I was just curious because again making sure that no charges and whatever. Because
I think I speak for the world when I say we have more immediate concerns.
Oh, of course,
yeah,
of course. But basically, what's happening is as some may hopefully recall, when Gallifrey got postponed to 2022, the date was up in the air thanks to some sporting event.
Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl.
Wow, that old chestnut Super Bowl. Why don't you say sports ball while you're at it?
The sports
Another
Super
militant
Bowl.
Twitter nerd nonsense.
At any rate, yes, the date for Galley was kind of up in the air because of the Super Bowl. So once the Gallifrey 1 dates get locked in, then the hotel stuff will get sorted out. Mm-hmm. Which makes, a lot of sense because why do the work more than once?
Right? Yeah. February 2022, that feels like, I feel hopeful for February 2022.
It also feels an eternity away.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like one friend remarked on Facebook, she was like, yeah, around about October is when I start thinking about Galley and starting to get excited for it and things like that. And now I can't do that this year. And she's not wrong.
No. It hasn't quite settled in yet. I mean,
by now we'd be planning our live show.
I think around Christmas it'll set in because that's when I usually buy a plane ticket.
Oh yeah, so you do that. I would have bought a plane ticket already.
Ditto.
There would have been some other tentative plans and stuff, but drawing up the spreadsheet is different this year because of that.
There's no spreadsheet.
There's always a spreadsheet. Oh god, listen, I filled it out. There's stuff planned already for next year. Oh boy, the thing that I threw in there, the little placeholder I placed for the summer of 2021, folks. Don't know if it's going to happen, but man, if it does. Look out.
It's a commentary on survival, isn't it? And our own survival.
I think we've already done that, haven't we? I don't remember anyway.
We might have. I don't know.
Yeah. We as Chris said, we're recording this on Halloween morning, so we haven't actually moved the clocks back yet. But that's like, when I woke up early and it was like 7 and the sun was sort of rising, and I realized, tomorrow this is going to be like really dark. Like it's going to get dark in the mornings now.
For some reason, I thought Halloween was yesterday. I don't know why.
Oh, so like that's when it's like, okay, it's going to be winter here, and it feels like it's darker a lot now, and I look forward to like the respite of going to California in mid-February as a nice little break up to winter. That's not going to happen this year. So,
well, I mean, it can still happen, but you might be crazy to do it.
Yeah, and I'm not going. I'm not going out. Sorry, governments that keep forcing me to try to go back to a restaurant or something like that. I'm not doing it. I'm not going.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm watching the Rocky Horror Picture Show for the first time in my life.
What? Okay.
Something I've avoided for the...
Explain
never-
that.
Okay, let me explain.
You're almost
explain.
50, my friend.
Let me explain.
Yeah.
It's a bargain between me and Jenny. She had to watch Poltergeist, which she'd never seen and very much enjoyed. And in return, I had to watch Rocky Horror Picture Show, which I have avoided for literally decades. Because that's right. But you didn't move the damn graves. Because theater kids love it. And that means I hate it. So now I'm going to watch it, and we'll see if I like it or not. But... watching The Mandalorian afterwards as either payment or further reward. We'll see.
Okay. I will tell you this, Warren. You and I share a hatred of musicals, right? We've bonded over that, perhaps before we even bonded over Doctor Who.
Except for Jesus Christ Superstar, right?
Except for, which is a rock opera, it's not a musical.
The Norman Jewison specific.
Thank you.
Jesus
Specifically,
Christ Superstar, as you told me.
Literally had this conversation last night with someone else. But Warren, I will say this. I saw this back in high school, and I was expecting to hate it. And I did not, because it's so bonkers and off the wall that you just accept it. And honestly, the music is really good. The music is really good in that movie. So I think
it's been pointed out that I don't mind nerd burlesque and I don't mind drag shows, so I probably don't mind this. But I'm we'll see. I don't know. Well, I've heard so many annoying theater jerks go on about it that.
Here's the thing. I mean, it is from the glorious 1970s. It's from the year of my birth, 1975.
That's
so
true.
There's a certain 70s feel to it. So it's not like,
cocaine, I believe, is the word you're searching for.
No, I think heroin. But
great, wonderful.
It might be more heroin infused before cocaine. I'm not too sure. Cocaine's more of a late 70s thing. 75 is right in the middle there. So enjoy that, Warren. There might even be a couple Doctor Who actors in there. I could be wrong. I haven't seen it many.
Well, there is
years.
one because we interviewed her, and she was
Patricia Quinn.
Patricia Quinn, of course, she's in that. So yeah, I forgot about that. My God, the fact that I did forget about Patricia Quinn. I forgot that she was in Rocky Horror.
Yeah.
Well,
on a not quite Doctor Who thing, but kind of still sort of apparently. So Richard O'Brien. This isn't in the show notes because I left it out because I didn't think it was related enough. But hey, we're on the Rocky Horror.
We're there now. We're there now.
So Richard O'Brien is doing an audio thing called The Baron Author, which is based on Baron Munchausen. And it co-stars Sophie Aldred. And
get out.
There's the thing in Radio Times at any rate, where Richard O'Brien says he would have loved to have played Doctor Who at some point. He was never offered it or anything like that, but he talks about having met up with John Pertwee back in the day and talking about Doctor Who. And, Richard O'Brien's a weird guy to begin with. And,
he is
Warren,
unique.
you'll understand more when you see Rocky Horror.
Yeah.
All right.
And more so as well if you ever watch the quote-unquote sequel. But
he was in Robin of Sherwood too, but going back to Jason Connery.
Okay.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
Never watched that, so I didn't know that.
Just as bonkers there too, let me tell you. He played weird
I think
wizard.
that's just him.
Yeah, it is. You're right. It is just him. Like, I've seen him in literally two things, and I think, that's just Richard O'Brien right there. That's him. That's who we get right there.
But, so Richard O'Brien, he plays Riff Raff, as you'll see, and he wrote the songs.
You're not selling this. You really are.
It's good stuff.
Oh, it's just dive head in.
It's just bonkers.
Head first, just dive right in.
Now,
all right,
I will ask this, Warren. Is Jenny the biggest fan that she'll do the midnight showing supplemental dialogue?
No,
okay.
But I did say there's participation in this, isn't there? I'm not doing that.
No, don't do that.
I know.
She
she
left it up in the air as to whether or not.
No, for your first exposure, no. Don't do the participation. If you like it enough, and goodness willing, at some point in the future, it's playing at a cinema someplace on a midnight Saturday. Actually, don't do that either. That's
don't do that. No.
Yeah, I love Rocky Horror.
People still do that?
I haven't seen it for a long time. But then I don't.
Rocky Horror is the longest running cinematic release ever because of that, or some such.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
I've seen Rocky Horror, I don't know how many dozens of times, but only once have I ever watched it. At the Garneau, of course, where it used to play.
So I remember watching The Room, which everybody was like, oh, this is... And it's just excruciating to watch when they aren't watching it
watch
without participation.
Cinema. Yeah, no, it's...
However, Disaster Artist is quite a fun movie, so...
I have not seen that because I never saw The Room.
That's about the making of The Room.
I know it's James Franco. Yeah, no, I never watched it. How do I segue back to Doctor Who? I can't.
We don't. We're doomed.
Well, just to wrap up the Rocky Horror stuff, I do hope you enjoy it, Warren. I'm curious to get a text off you afterward to let me know what your thoughts are.
We'll see.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. Maybe you'll live tweet the occasion. Maybe you'll, maybe honestly, this is what you should be doing Tuesday night. To be fair, this is the thing. Instead of if you're looking to
I'll be suffering enough
counter programming for election coverage, maybe Rocky Horror is the way to do it, because hell, it might be Rocky Horror or not. Who knows? It's very terrifying right now.
I'm really looking forward to whoever's listening to this on November 4th.
Oh, I know. Well, this is the great thing is that episode 5 of our commentary series is coming up. This one we recorded that one like early October. We just this past week recorded episode 10, so we're done. Our commentaries are done. And like every time, we end them, we're like hello, everyone in the future. Hope everything's fine. Is it? I don't know. Very scary time right now. The only time I think you can do is cry, laugh about it, which is kind of what I'm doing now.
Craft, I believe it's called.
Yeah.
I'm crafting right now.
But hey, at least there's some new action dollies, right? At least, thank God, some Doctor Who action dollies have come along to save us at just the right time. A couple of new sets being the Witch's Familiar set with Peter Capaldi in his hoodie. Has there been a hoodie Capaldi?
I don't think so.
I don't think so, no.
Crap. With Davros.
I don't think there's been a shoulder brace Davros either.
There certainly hasn't been a new, like in modern
Julian
series.
Bleach one.
Julian Bleach.
Yeah, I've got the old Genesis one, but...
Yeah.
But yeah, for Capaldi, I don't think we've had any with those patterned trousers either.
No, maybe the trousers look. God, apologies if we've missed a character options one, because
all I can think about is for hoodie stuff. Graham Burke expressing his anti-hoodie stance back in the day.
To hell with him.
Well, he's wrong.
Yeah,
because I'm.
Hear that, Burke? You're wrong.
Because I have to say, like, I have been. I mean, I like the Series 8 Capaldi because he's very standoffish, but he's the action figure I have. He's the one action figure I have.
Is that with the blue coat with red and white trim kind of thing? Or?
Yeah, it's closed though, and he's got a very tight haircut as well. And I think in some ways it feels like this doesn't feel like Capaldi, but this sculpt I think is probably a little more accurate to the Capaldi vibe. And there's like it almost makes me want to go against my initial self-imposed restrictions and just getting one action dolly per doctor. I almost want to get a different Capaldi for this, but I'll probably resist doing that.
The other day, and I never got a response to this one, I sent you a text, Stephen, both of you, with that image of Capaldi's hair across his era.
I've seen that many times.
Many
times. That's so old. So way old.
Somehow, for some reason, I hadn't seen that, but yeah. It's kind of. I know you always talk about his hair.
Yep.
And it's exponential growth, but I think that's the first time I've ever actually seen it compared, like one image after another.
That's an old image there, Chris. Welcome to the internet. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm new.
There's also, this is cool. There's a Cole Hill set which has Ace with a rocket launcher and an Imperial Dalek, which has always been my favorite color design. I love the white and gold. I love it to
bits. I'm a Genesis man. I love the classic.
White
I also
gold.
adore the white and gold.
I love the white and gold. When the Next Generation Star Trek movies, the dress outfits, I think in what was it? The last one, Nemesis.
Nemesis.
The only good
The
thing
white
about
ones?
Nemesis. No, actually, they wore them in Insurrection 2 with the white ones, with the white and gold, and they reminded me of the Dalek motif of
Which
the
one?
Imperial.
Which one had the Riker Troy wedding?
That's Nemesis.
That's Nemesis, but I think at the beginning of Insurrection,
because
They have
Picard
events.
has those bead things on his head.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, that dress outfit reminded me of this, and I just love white and gold, so that's a pretty cool Dalek set. So you go, 2 sets coming out from Character Options for the Cole Hill set, they call it, and the Witch's Familiar set, both Dalek stories.
By the way, I have to say, Star Trek Picard, I have mixed feelings about, mostly good, but I do like the fact that it's basically a rebuke of Nemesis. The whole series is there to get Nemesis off the table.
Yeah, just like Series 3 of Discovery is a reset to get the first 2 seasons of Discovery.
I believe I sent this to you yesterday, Stephen. Tell me, other than TOS, which you don't like anyway, so who cares?
Yeah.
Tell me a Star Trek that hasn't gotten way better in Series 3.
DS9 started off proper. You're right, though.
Yeah, DS9 is
DS9
pretty
got
weak
really good at the end of
compared
season
to Series 3.
Well,
Series 3 is where they all kick off.
I think, well, are we going to do this? No,
We're going to do it.
All right. So, like, Next Generation, Roddenberry's involved for the first 2 seasons.
Yeah,
That's
definitely
why it's crap.
Series 3 is better.
Then you look at, here's the problem, my problem anyway. Voyager and Enterprise both had definite, like, way different origins to what actually happened on screen.
Yes.
It was supposed to be like, Voyager
good,
was supposed to, like, Year in Hell, the episode Year in Hell was supposed to be basically the first season of Voyager. And so let's just do fun adventures in space. But we already do that on Next Generation. Now let's just do it again. And Enterprise was supposed to be, the first season was leading up to them actually launching into space. But I thought, let's just do fun adventures in space. But we're already doing that. I'll do it instead. So that, it took them a while to sort of get past that. And I don't think they ever did. Discovery had, like, there's more showrunners in the first 2 seasons of Discovery than there were episodes.
I agree.
Yeah.
There's plenty behind the scenes stuff here. But also with Deep Space Nine at the time, there was, in retrospect, this seems crazy, but 20 years ago, people were like, why is this just on a space station? Blah, blah, blah. And there was such a big backlash. Yeah. That's why they went to this whole space adventures like TNG used to be, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, it only went, they only got the ship when Defiant came in, season 4 or something like that. But I did a rewatch of DS9 last year. And it was the first time I had seen it in 20 years. I breathed off the fumes of knowing how great it was that first time around, that I didn't want to spoil it and have my opinion of it diminish. It didn't. It would enhanced it.
I've been rewatching it too.
I remember, like, when I watched that first season, I thought I was expecting it to be really ropey and thinking, this is really good from the very beginning.
It's pretty good. It just kicks into high gear.
It gets even better. That's the thing. DS9 starts good and gets even better.
And I would argue, despite Discovery's behind-the-scenes nonsense, it's had a first 2 seasons were uneven but okay, especially the second one. But I think the third one is really good.
I'm enjoying the third one. Yeah,
the third one is shaping up to be. Yeah,
I jumped back in. I feel I watched season 3 without even watching season 2. So there's a couple characters that I don't even know. But, like, I'm thinking, as I watched season 3 of Discovery, I think this is the show that I think they wanted to make initially before all the old school Trek fans who were in the higher ups thinking we should bring back Harry Mudd and do all this other nonsense. And like, this feels like basically a proper Star Trek moving forward, which is something
my argument, such as
happened.
it is Star Trek always takes a while to cook, and this is no different.
I
Picard
suppose.
will probably be the same thing.
Honestly, it's taken like 20 years to cook because they haven't done anything new in Star Trek since Voyager. Let's face it.
I suppose that's true.
Yeah, like, it's the first thing to actually go out there, and as opposed to exist in the world that happened. And now we're like 900 years in the future in Discovery, and it's really intriguing, and there's a mystery involved.
By the same token, I'm sure Star Trek fans like being spoon-fed the same problem over.
That's the thing,
and I count myself amongst them.
I hate being pandered to. Like, even when Doctor Who does it, like, I always feel like,
no, you don't.
I do, because there's a certain guilty feeling thinking, no,
you don't.
They just had
the other day,
as you people are going to understand
alluded to, Stephen, we did the commentary for Timeless Children, and I know that we talked about pandering aspects from that episode and how much you liked them.
So you don't like being pandered to a Star Trek, but you do at Doctor Who.
Well, there's a different. Here's
yes, they're two different.
How long is this episode? No, it's just I've talked about this before. I feel like Doctor Who is a different beast because it's on BBC One. It's intended to be a much more accessible program for the masses. It's on free television. You're allowed to just watch it and stuff. I'm taking the UK. It's an original market. Whereas Star Trek is like intended to be for fans on CBS Access to drive people to CBS Access. I feel it's too insular for its own good. I don't think Star Trek is doing a good enough job at growing its audience. I think it's appeasing its audience right now. And
it did with the Kelvin films, and those suck. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they just told the same old stories again. They didn't tell new Star Trek. They thought, let's make things about and tie it in with the old ones, and it just
they didn't do that until the third.
Yeah, the third movie. Yeah, and by then everyone had checked out of it because Into Darkness was terrible. End of story. How can you follow that up? Let's move on. 11th Doctor, the final series is coming to Blu-ray Steelbook in the UK. Of course, we don't get the Steelbooks here, but looks pretty. There's a lot of nice artwork and stuff, and the DVDs or Blu-rays are inside too, and you can get them. in the UK. That's the story.
Yeah.
Yep. This is fun,
And
though.
it only goes up to the name of the doctor. There's no day or time.
Oh, that's got to come out, though. What about Morris Day and the Time? That comes out as well at some point.
Well, that's more in the Jay and Silent Bob films.
Oh, okay.
We just riffed on Star Trek for 10 minutes, and yet you pulled that one out of even more nowhere.
It works. Day of the Doctor, Time of the Doctor. Morris Day and the Time. I'm sure it's been made before.
Right.
But
So is there
I'm not criticizing. I'm actually admiring it.
Warren, this is your chance to write some fic. Morris Day and the Time of the Doctor.
Morris?
No.
Oh.
There's my chance not to write that fic.
Oh, that's too bad. Doctor Who Day is coming up as we celebrate the 57th anniversary of this show we call Doctor Who. And the Radiophonic Workshop is holding a live concert on YouTube on November 22nd at 8 o'clock GMT. So a mere hour after our episode that day comes out, basically. That's going to be cool. That's going to be neat. And they're doing it they're doing it in separate locations, aren't they? This is going to be interesting because there's latency issues. It's called latency. But I'm really intrigued because I haven't seen much from the Radiophonic Workshop in recent years, I guess, because we don't live in the UK.
Deaths on Multiple Earths or whatever the album they released a few years ago, and
yes.
That's been the last big thing, because they obviously haven't been touring lately for COVID-related reasons, and I know that some of the Brexit-related changes to music and musical performances might hamstring their ability to do things like tour outside the UK.
Yeah, so this is the way to do it. I'm intrigued. Now we can actually watch it too. I remember that. There was a lot. They were at a festival, and they live streamed a show on the festival.
Glastonbury.
Was it Glastonbury? It was one of the side stages on Glastonbury, wasn't it? Yeah, that was awesome. Watching the Radiophonic Workshop play live. Yeah.
15, 16, somewhere in there. 17.
Yeah, long time ago. But nope, November 22nd. You can watch them. You can watch the Radiophonic Workshop live on YouTube. So I imagine as it gets closer to that date, there might be a link for the actual YouTube show. So that's exciting. I do like the Radiophonic Workshop and indeed the folks who are part of it. Speaking of audio stuff, Toby Haydock is coming back. Well, he's always been connected to Doctor Who and stuff, obviously, but he's been doing more commentaries for Phantom Films. There's one coming for Attack of the Cybermen, Warren and my favorite story for some reason. And yours too, with David Banks, Michael Kilgariff. Banks has never done one of these commentaries before. Sarah Berger, who was one of the Cryons. Brian Orrell, who was one of the Cybermen, I believe. Ian Marshall Fisher. And Eric Sayward, as well as a box set of unit
Eric
stories.
Sayward, who did not write this episode.
No, it's Paula Moore. Could not get Paula Moore, so as a stand-in,
Interestingly enough,
got Eric Sayward, who was script editor for it. And then there's a box set of the unit stories featuring Katie Manning, Richard Franklin, John Levine, Robert Jezik, who was Zbigniew in Battlefield, Philip Hinchcliffe, George Galaccio, who I keep forgetting is still alive because there's a lot of people from the 1970s who we sadly have lost in recent years. Stephen Thorne, who sadly we have lost, and Fraser Hines. So all those are coming out from Phantom Publishing. Links in the show notes at radiofreeskaro.com. And also, Toby is re-entering the Doctor Who podcast game, buddies. I don't know what that meant. He's got four new podcasts coming out basically on the same feed. It's called Toby Haydock's Time Travels. There's a trailer up for two of them right now. He sort of announced it on his newsletter, and it's launching on Doctor Who Day. So we'll have Toby on closer to the launch of his podcast to tell you all about it. But if you want to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, at the very least, the links are in the show notes to that. So he's basically doing a breakdown of it's all there. There's a lot of them. We'll go into it at a later date when it's closer to launch. I don't want to screw it up. Mostly is what I'm saying.
I do appreciate that he's putting everything out on one feed.
Yeah,
it makes for a congested feed potentially, but on the same. By the same token, it also makes it easier to just get the stuff.
You don't miss it. Don't split the party. Don't split the feeds. Basically, is what the rule is here. Children in Need is coming up on the BBC Children in Need, of course, on Friday the 13th November, as per usual. There will be a Doctor Who related something with this. Could it be a trailer for Revolution of the Daleks? I would hope so.
It could be.
Yeah.
Or a scene from it, perhaps. hold
Maybe
open
that.
or something.
I mean, that's quite something. I mean, we haven't had new Doctor Who on the screens in 17 years, so
It'll be a skit with Pudsey. That's what it'll be.
I wish. Again, once
What
again,
if, what if it's like Jodie Whittaker and David Tennant playing with the Pudsey and Blush bears?
separately, of course, on YouTube or something. That's the thing. Is it going to be a trailer or is it going to be Jodie Whittaker on a webcam? Who knows? We'll find out, I suppose. Maybe they'll be shooting Doctor Who by that point. It's November right now. Mm-hmm. When's the next Doctor Who magazine coming out? Because there's a production notes, the return of the production notes from Chris Chibnall's and that. So one assumes that
couple weeks.
Yeah, that will tie in with them actually returning to filming. So. We'll see. That's next week, next Friday, everyone. So stay tuned for that. Why don't you? Sophie Isles, friend Sophie Isles. She's going to be on a Doctor Who commentary later on this series 12. She did a charity art live stream. Right. She spent 14 hours drawing characters from Doctor Who to raise money for Fair Share. She exceeded her fundraising target. Not by like 100% or 200%, but by 1,000%.
That is madness.
She had a target of $125, and she hit like 1,500. It's still going. I believe, like literally as we were recording this, she tweeted out that Chris Chibnall himself pledged to this as well. Wow. It's going crazy. There it is. Chris Chibnall pledged it. So as of like a few minutes ago. He goodness me, like he donated a lot of money too, from what I understand. So
$3,400 raised right now. 2,732%.
Yeah, and I think Chibnall actually matched. I think he matched.
Holy
that
crap!
like
Yeah, he put in $1,700.
$1,700.
And which charity is it for?
Fair Share. It was rating charity that fights hunger in the UK. So wow.
34 minutes ago, Chris Chibnall. Yeah, wow.
There it is. Which is yesterday for you as you listen to this, dear listeners. But
wow,
superb.
Thanks,
yeah, well done, Sophie, for raising money for this and helping getting a hell of a boost for Fair Share in the UK. So that is pretty cool. None of this will have happened when you hear the commentary in a few weeks. So act surprised. That's why she's not mentioning it at the time. But here we go. The last thing. This is our kicker, folks. K9 Megabytes book.
Oh, hooray! Long overdue.
By Bob Baker, one half, of course, the creator of K9, is coming in January. It's a book. It's a book of the further adventures of the world's favorite robot dog by his co-creator, Bob Baker. The new storybook by Bob Baker features great new action-packed stories that'll appeal to fans of K9, old and new, as he encounters, this is exciting.
Now, this is the redesigned K9, right?
Yes. As he encounters Axons, Mandrills, and Drax.
Anything Bob Baker has the rights to is what you're saying.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
And those are three things that are awesome because who doesn't want more Mandrills? We've often...
I want more Drax, that's for damn sure.
Well, we've beat the drum for more Mandrills and more Drax, so this is how we get them, I guess, in book form. So, yeah, it is hoped the copies will be printed at the latest by January 2021, so depending on printing deadlines and business conditions, because, COVID. So, yep, there's
also, I'd just like to point out that I use an Axon in its orange form for my Donald Trump japes on Bookshelf Doctors. Everybody seems to get it right off the top. He looks a lot like this thing.
Just kind of, actually. Yeah. Well, you got to pay Bob Baker $10 every time.
No, I do not.
That. So
political satire is free.
Yeah, I suppose it is. Not the book though. £10 plus P&P.
Okay. Wasn't there supposed to be a movie that has never happened with K9?
Possibly. But
I'm sure there have been lots of things that haven't happened.
Lots of things. I'll tell you what will happen though. The commentary for Fugitive of the Judoon with Connie Gibbs. It's coming up right after the break. Yes, welcome back to the Doctor Who Series 12 commentary portion of this podcast. And joining us for Episode 5, Fugitive of the Judoon, is an editor of Black Girls Create, writer for such sites as IO9 and Polygon, host of the Doctor Who podcast Time and Relative Blackness in Space, and, along with me, one of the few members of the We've Interviewed Christopher Eccleston on Stage at a Convention Club. It's Connie Gibbs. Hi there, Connie.
Hi. Yes, that is a very small club so far, and it's a cool club to be in.
It's a thing, isn't it? I watched your panel. I think it was at New York Comic Con of 2019, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm, yep.
I think it was
it's
like
on YouTube.
His second.
I put it up on YouTube. Mm-hmm.
It was I interviewed him at Gallifrey 1. It is not on YouTube, so I only have my memories to go on this and the memories of the couple thousand people in there. But that was a magical experience for me. Was it the same for you?
Oh yeah, his eyes are very blue, and he's very nice. He's very lovely. He was very, very personable. He looks at you when you're talking, which is a very nice feeling. It's like, oh, you're actually paying attention. And it was probably the most people I've ever interviewed anyone in front of before. No one knows who I am because I never introduced myself. So, but it's fine. They were there for Christopher Eccleston, and it was fun. So I really enjoyed doing that.
It was cool. It's a good interview and a good whelping, because I think it was like his second or third. I think he'd done Portland or something.
Yeah, it was like maybe the third one. I think it could have been two, because I remember Googling. I was trying to Google around, got to find out what questions and kind of get a vibe for how he is. And so I was like, oh, is it just this one? He could have done some other ones that weren't recorded, but no, I think it was at least 2 or 3.
I think it was literally like Portland, New York, Minneapolis, and then LA for Gallifrey 1. And then he was going to do Edmonton here in September, but of course the global pandemic has a way of just messing up things. So that's where he stopped. So that's why this club is very, very exclusive.
Well, he was also supposed to do Edmonton last year, and that
was it last year or this year? No.
Well, last year was canceled because of personal reasons, but
yeah.
Years don't.
No, it's still March 2020 somewhere.
That's true. He had to cancel for personal reasons in 2019, and then the pandemic kiboshed his Calgary one. Anyway, that's Christopher Eccleston, who's not in this. But there is another Doctor and another Doctor in there. There are 2 Doctors in this episode, which we did not know of at all. We just thought, hey, cool, a fun little romp with the Judoon midway through the season, just to get us ready for the rest of the actual proper consequential episodes of Doctor Who. But no, we get one of the more impactful Doctor Who stories, I think, in the history of our little television show, and we're about to watch it now. So I assume you all have your legally purchased Blu-rays, North American Blu-rays with all those episodes on there. Good. Here we go then. Episode 5 of Series 12 of Doctor Who, Fugitive of the Judoon, in 3, 2, 1, play.
I do like how the show is named, or the title is the least important thing in the show.
Yeah, it doesn't give away anything.
No. We'll get to the things that that are newsworthy in this, but
and then even then the news of the Judoon came out as the second piece of press for the series.
No, first,
and then only then, because they were going to be filming outside, and they would have been caught out if they hadn't pre-announced it.
Now, I watched this like
start on the clock.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, that's once it's just like, okay, there it is.
I know. I watched this last night for the first time since the before times, and I literally was thinking, oh, toast. What does that mean? Is that something? What about the butter? That's got to be something.
Yeah, this is my first time since the before times.
Well, there's that scene in was it The Chase or whatever with the bacon and eggs? She's got an egg, but no bacon. So
yes, it's obviously a reference to
just like. The duck pond has no
color.
ducks.
Yeah.
Her breakfast has no bacon.
Yes, the color of her shirt means something.
It's like salmon.
It was pointed out after the fact. If you look at the windows behind her, they're all like TARDIS windows.
Yeah.
Coffee cup has roundels, more or less.
Her necklace has an R on it. I'm like, what does that mean?
And there's hexagons like the console.
Yes, that one.
I'm guessing R probably means Ruth.
You're right.
In retrospect, that's what I'm thinking. But
yeah.
I like how we call her the Ruth Doctor, much like the War Doctor we can't remember before, so we just call her the War Doctor.
I've heard Joe Doctor as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Well, Joe's the actor, not the character.
Yeah, I know. Well, we
I
call
prefer
Jody.
Doctor,
Yeah.
but-
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Puppy.
It's like, why are we starting this show with this random lady?
Yeah.
She seems lovely, but where's the doctor?
Well,
Isn't the show called Doctor Who? Where's the doctor?
she's there the whole time.
Swan.
Well, having last week with the Nikola Tesla episode, it was a good 5-6 minutes before the fam shows up.
Yeah.
It was.
Mm-hmm. Also, that episode with Mary Shelley takes a long time to get to the doctor. So it's like, can we get out of this spooky house?
Oh yeah, it's a pre-credit sequence, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, at least this one's really bright.
Mm-hmm. I like this annoying person. Tell me something. Oh, Harry Potter. Because that would be totally me. Not Harry Potter wise, but like, which Doctor Who episodes were filmed here?
We did that at the Tower of London.
Yeah, that's true.
Nice.
We were lucky.
Okay, that's fun.
It's just like, oh, this place has been here since the 800s, eh? Well, they also filmed the Doctor Who here, so that's important too, right?
Obviously.
The 50th anniversary episode, so yes.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You can take your British history.
Oh. This guy.
Who creates his own nickname for himself.
Just pining away.
Wow. Yeah.
Inappropriate.
Like,
dude.
he's just thirsty. It's just like, you're the best person I've ever met. And that guy's suspicious.
He's got a dossier. Like, wow.
I can't.
I don't want to use the word incel, but
I mean, it's a lot. Yeah. It's like, she said, no, bro. I think you gotta chill.
He's an analog incel, though. He's been
Right.
So he'll never radicalize. He'll just sit there on paper. He's like the Unabomber. Oh god, this is going to a bad place.
Give her a USB, dude. I don't think she's gonna look through all those papers.
Yeah.
Also, as a human, she doesn't care. As a Time
Definitely
Lord,
not, yeah.
good luck, buddy.
But also, sir, why are you stalking a man? Like, with what authority?
Yeah.
Did you hire a private eye? It's a lot.
And I guess there's only one coffee shop in town that
and she can't go to he's really creepy, but he sells the best coffee.
Like, doesn't know how to draw.
There's no one else. She's tried to go to other places, and it's like, you need to leave me alone, but keep it up.
Yeah.
I mean, we were just talking about classic Who off mic before this, and this is a return to the wonderful tradition of attacking a small town
true.
with alien forces.
Apologies to Gloucester, which is not exactly a small town, but
okay, but compared to London or New York, it is.
Here we go.
Jody.
Broody Jody. Very broody.
I'm always curious about her hair, because, I mean, not that the recent doctors haven't had long hair, but it's like the longest, and so I'm like, how hard is continuity? Because her hair seems like naturally pretty wavy. So I think to get it like straight like this, I'm always just like staring at her hair.
See, all the old series needed was a bigger console room so they could actually get a large group of companions to talk to each other in a non-awkward way like they are here. In the old show, they're all crammed together and it didn't work.
I do like the season 11 one better than the expanded one of this season. I feel like it's like all the extra like crystalline pillars were a step too much for me. But I do enjoy the honeycomb, as I call it, or someone calls it, TARDIS, but they like put too much extra stuff for the next season. I'm like, but why?
Well, I think there was some stuff that's there because what the crystalline pillars were apparently colored. When they showed up on camera, they looked like pink or something. Like they didn't look what they were supposed to. And so every shot you see in series 11 had to be like digitally altered to make the color correct. So they fixed that for this. So we might just be seeing more of it than anything.
Right.
I do like the little steps up there, and like, they have kind of seats now and stuff.
Yeah, listen, to be able to sit down, because
if there's a flaw that has to get mentioned, in my opinion, it's the fact that it looks like a dead spider. when you look at it from a distance. Like all the pillars look like dead spider legs curled in.
It does a little bit, actually. It's a bit creepy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, now I'll never see. That's the thing.
I didn't know you hadn't seen.
I like the Judoon logo there too.
Yeah, I do like the Judoon logo. It's got the logo on it. Like I would wear that in the front of a hockey jersey. I think
Yeah.
That'd be a great hockey jersey.
Some corporate
Jersey Judoon
with bow fro toe. Or whatever.
Some corporate media guy would be paid a fortune to design that.
We missed her doing the line, Judoon platoon.
I am not having that. I really just like listening to her because her accent is great.
I know it's one that we haven't really had much in Doctor Who before, and now it's the lead accent, so to speak.
Yeah, it's like sure, lots of planets have a north, but we've really escalated here.
It's even further north.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So is he in charge because he has hair?
Oh, see, I didn't even look up there.
She has hair, you mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I love that we don't get whoa, like the music is treating it super seriously. We're meant to laugh at them because look at them.
Well,
the way they talk.
They're Keystone Cops.
Yeah, but we don't get like.
Also, they're wearing like male kilts.
Yeah, we don't get subtitles. I love that we
kilts.
don't get subtitles. Like we're not meant to understand them until they assimilate English here.
Yes. Yeah.
And that our subtitles are accurate. No phobo row.
It's like, yes, I know exactly what that means.
I wonder if like someone has sort of like.
I love how they're getting more and more insistent by the second too.
I wonder if someone has, Klingon back pop, sort of back. What's the word I'm looking for? Reverse engineered the language to figure out what it means.
Oh, right. Mm-hmm.
I'm sure somebody has. I never want to meet this person.
And like it's still very much focused around Ruth. Like in retrospect, it's like, oh, of course she's a major character, but at the time,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they've sort of focused on Lee being slightly dodgy. Oh yeah, I forgot she died.
They literally eviscerated that
They
woman.
really did.
You might want to check the modem or router connections.
Thanks, Google Home.
Sorry. I was like, what did I say to trigger it?
Yeah.
But I thought this episode would just
Probably
like
Bo Ro Fo show.
I thought this episode was just like Blink, just like companion light. I mean, Dr. Light, It's just like, oh, this is just one of those episodes where they're doing a small character's day.
Yeah.
Nope.
You can do better. Wow. Subtle.
That's bitter, man.
What is the matter with you?
Yeah. You can
Ready to scrap. He's like, let's fight. Let's fight right now.
I am expecting a fight here.
I'm the only person running this shop, but I will go right outside and fight you for Ruth's honor.
I mean, I think there's a history to what's going on because I know Vinay Patel had written the episode, and then I think he had a lot changed with it. I think he had his own aliens for one, and then they replaced them with the Judoon, and then later on in the episode, when Captain Jack comes on, I feel like as great as it is, like right there, he's gone. I am wondering if there was like Captain Jack is a late replacement for something else that maybe didn't work. Like this is speculation. I do know that Vinay Patel did have different aliens in, and they got Judoon instead. Maybe just because the costumes are available, it was a money thing. I'm not too sure.
Maybe he was ready. Like right at that time, it's like, well, just put him in the episode.
Yeah,
he won't be free otherwise.
Well, actually, now when I think about it, because Millennium Effects, which has done the creature effects for Doctor Who since it came back in 2005, but left after the first production block, and maybe they didn't have an effects company in place to make costumes of these new monsters, and so they had to put Judoon in instead because they were available. But they serve the function. I mean, they don't look out of place,
Yeah.
And
then I just remembered that Jack doesn't show up at the end of the season, right?
No, he does not.
Nope.
He just pop him in.
I mean, that's what Moffat did too a lot, where he would like write a thing, that worked for this, and then like later on, 2 years down the line, thinking, "Oh wait, I did that one thing, didn't I? I could just bring that back and close that book." Like I am, like we're all like thinking it's Lee. It's him. He's the reason. We're all buying into it. Like we're getting the wool pulled over our eyes. Something fierce here.
Classic misdirect.
Sure. Yep. Sure am.
That's what it says. That's what I am.
The doctor is always just like, sure, that's what it says. I don't know. It's like, I guess it just shows you what the other person wants, but the doctor has no control over the second paper. It's like, okay, I would have actually preferred if it said this other thing, but whatever. As long as it gets me in.
Well, yes, I am a neighborhood butcher.
Ryan's the best. It sounded tougher in my head.
I think Ryan was allowed to, like Tosin Cole especially, I think was allowed to sort of spread his wings a little bit this season compared to last.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like funnier too.
Yeah.
He gets like all these like great lines, and he's always doing something like dumb in the background. Oh, yeah. It's just like no one's ever paying attention to him, and he's just like looking off like, ooh, what's that over there? And you're like, Brian, what are you doing?
Yeah, him swatting the bats.
It's great Easter egg. Yes.
Doing the shadow animals, the shadow puppets in last year's Arachnids. That was great. And he's a funny guy. I interviewed him at Chicago TARDIS actually, and you could tell, like spoilers, like I don't have any inside info, but it really feels like maybe Graham and Ryan are not going to be in the show past the Christmas special. You just got the sense that he was like, I'm done. This is it. I'm sort of like, I'm out. I'm sort of like talking about it in the past tense. Like him and Arthur Darvill had a panel together, and they basically just sort of like started trading old war stories of their time on Doctor Who, and it was like you almost like you were in their therapy session. It was kind of crazy because they knew they'd been through it all.
I like how she says Rule 12 in this. Judoon goes, like he's actually, or they are actually disgruntled and put upon.
Just noticed that Grandma's gone, which was my favorite detail.
To be fair, I did too.
I did too. I was just like, oh, right, that guy. I was like, oh, what if they just did this for like 3 episodes and no one noticed?
Like,
he was gone.
Graham?
Anyone who listens to TARBIS knows that we'd be all for it.
I had to listen to your part of your review of this episode from back in February.
Yeah, I have no idea what I said. Was it really only February?
Well, whatever time of whatever year it was that this came out earlier.
What is it, February?
What is that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow. It was February. It was this year.
It was.
That's crazy.
It's tough to believe that this series aired during this calendar year. Yep.
It feels like 3 years ago.
It really does.
Now, here's the big... I mean, obviously here, it's like, when it first came on, like his voice, you could...
Jack!
Yeah, it's Jack.
I didn't place it.
No.
And I was just like, oh, wait.
My wife, Erica, did. Like, she thought, oh, my God, is that... Now, one has to remember that at the time, this episode was held back for review. They didn't really send out review copies. And because everyone... They said there's big things that happen in this, so we're not going to review it. And so when Captain Jack appeared... Everyone thought, oh, my God, Captain Jack's back.
This is the big thing. This is the big thing that they didn't want to spoil. Because I think even the previews were like, this episode of Doctor Who will change everything forever.
I know. And as we're getting...
And I was just like, because Jack's here. Great. Yeah. Lies.
It was Moffat-esque in their amount of lying. And, they weren't like... we said that like literally the first publicity photo that we had all year was the day before they shot in public with the Judoon. So we saw the Judoon. And like I was getting annoyed all of last year thinking, just show something. Tell us, give us some teaser to let us know you're actually making the TV show. And when I saw all that came in this episode, I thought, okay, it was worth it. I take it all back. If it meant
now
not
that I think about it, this episode was one of the first that they put publicity photos of, because I remember, I'm just now having a memory of like looking at one of the photos. I think like Lee and the fam are in it, and then like Ruth's like somewhere in the background, like she's kind of out of focus a bit. And I was just like, if she dies, I'm rioting.
Right.
And then, like, as I'm watching the episode, I'm like, again, if she dies, I'm rioting.
Yep.
It's like, Chibnall, where are you? I'm rolling up. Okay, sir.
I've got my quill in ink. I'm ready to write.
I'm ready to go.
And then she didn't die at the end of this.
Right.
The build up to what's coming up in the lighthouse is pretty damn spectacular.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's at this point, like when I'm watching this, like apart from Captain Jack being here, which I thought this is crazy, but like I still think it's some weird, it kind of reminded me in a way of what's the Western episode, the Matt Smith one, Town Called Mercy.
Oh, Town Called Mercy.
Of like, okay, the space fugitive and stuff, and he's being tracked by Judoon, and it's all going to be kind of rompy, and he's actually here because he ran away from his home planet or something, and he has kids, and that's what it's going to be. And then it's not at all. But at this point of this episode, I'm still thinking that's what's happening. But Captain Jack's here now, so now I don't know what to think.
Mm-hmm.
A Forple.
I just got that. That was a month.
So does that mean Jack used his Forple sword?
I don't know. He's looking out. I mean, it's been 10 years since he's been in Doctor Who.
He looks great.
Yep.
Yeah.
Except you can tell
He looks like he might have had a little Botox.
yeah. And then once you realize, once you see him with his gray hair and you realize that's a dye job, like it kind of stands out.
Yeah.
That's true, yeah.
But, I mean, it's like, Jack could be however old. Like, at some point, he does age.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, it's been like 2,000 years for him.
Yeah.
And he's just showing a little age.
I mean, it turns into the face of Boa.
Exactly. His face becomes a giant face in a bubble.
Which is after like 5 billion years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't die, but he does age.
How long did he spend in that grave in Torchwood? Like 2,000 years?
2,000 years or so?
Yeah.
One Jesus, I believe it is. I think I broke
to use the common time measurement system, yeah. 116 kilorels.
That might be more blasphemous.
Kilorels? Oh.
Yeah.
It's rel, but...
It's a gigarel.
Oh, sorry.
Please.
They do make the Judoon threatening, oddly enough.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like the redemption story in a way.
Like, I'm sorry, what?
He is a very British-looking man. British or Polish?
I bet you he's played a few Eastern European officers.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
He kind of looks like if Baryshnikov frowned a lot.
Yeah, kind of actually reminds me of Jared Harris.
Very flat team.
Yeah.
That's much closer.
Who I know from Chernobyl.
Excuse me? Sir. What's in the box?
Imagine if it was Gwyneth Paltrow's
That's
head.
going, but okay.
Couldn't resist.
So is he a Time Lord too, then?
I think he was...
Or at least a
Gallifreyan.
Yeah.
Could be like
he's got a service medal.
But not a Time Lord.
Mm-hmm.
See, I always assumed he was a human who knew the drill and was...
I think when that other lady comes up later, she knew him too.
Yeah.
And that felt less human.
I could be wrong.
That felt less human than I initially thought, because I thought he was her companion in the way that Martha was.
Yeah, so did I.
But he's her protector.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he knows who she is.
Chancellery guards on Gallifrey aren't necessarily Time Lords. I mean, they're still protectors, so maybe that's what he is.
That could be it. I just watched Deadly Assassin last night, actually. So maybe he's Spandrel.
Yes, he's Spandrel.
Chancellor Spandrel, that's what he is.
Of course he is.
Pravda. It's got to be it. Time-honored tradition of Doctor Who having money enough for one prosthetic head and everyone else gets to wear helmets. That's how it works.
I mean, that's fine.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah. Whoop.
Bye.
Yeah, I'd love to know how the original script of this was. Because Vinay Patel we did a live show at Gallifrey 1 on the Friday, back in the days when we went to conventions. And Vinay Patel was on there. And you could tell he was ever so slightly guarded about what he was saying about his time. And I think he even said on Instagram, you know what? After 2 episodes, I think I'm ready to sort of branch out on my own now and do more, stuff that's outside of Doctor Who. So I think there's something in the process that wasn't quite.
Yeah, it just seems like they're like getting a lot of people who don't work on a lot of TV, and then especially TV like Doctor Who, where it's so like tied to this like one singular kind of mythos, and so it's like they're like, ooh, I get to work on this prestige, that's like really cool, like really famous show, but they're not used to like how you have to work on that show, kind of like directors working on the MCU. It's just like, I mean, they want you for what you're bringing, but do they?
Yeah,
they're just like gonna massage it into what already exists, and not all creatives can like do that.
Yeah.
Well, the Series 12 scripts are all on the BBC Writers' Room website. But looking at this one, it's definitely going to be like a shooting copy, like shooting draft.
Oh, yeah.
Not anything earlier.
Yeah. I mean,
if nothing else, this is a bold new era of Gallifreyan couture.
Especially for New Who. They haven't showed that many.
Remember when we thought that was the Rani?
Right.
It's always not the Rani. Just like it's always not Susan.
Yeah, we've been waiting for the Ronnie to come back for like 30 years.
Why? She was in 2 episodes. She was good, but calm down, everybody.
There are other Time Lords available. You're right, though. It would have been so easy because, if anything, after the big collars came out in Deadly Assassin, like basically, hey, we have these collars. They literally used the same collar costumes in The Sound of Drums in 2007 because they were so durable. Mm-hmm. So they kept reusing them, but they were originally intended to be only for like ceremonial wear. And now every time you see Time Lords on screen, they're wearing these massive collars. So I'm really happy that Gat here isn't wearing like a Time Lord collar,
Yes, it's like, oh, this is her casual wear.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, Chris, when you say 3, are you referring to Dimensions in Time as the third one?
Of course.
Yes. Absolutely not.
Kill him. Bureaucracy. I do like it.
No complications.
Yes.
No complications. Obviously, an homage to the grounds.
Of course.
I do like the headdress that she's got on, though, I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
See?
Bye-bye.
I mean, that would be the hint
companion.
right there.
Yeah.
A lot of people die in this episode.
Yeah.
It is very deadly.
I forgot about all the people. This
is number 3.
All the characters we have met so far are dead.
Yeah, anyone who's human or probably.
Yeah, like the girl who was asking about Harry Potter, she's probably dead too. We just didn't see it.
She probably died as well, yes.
Yeah. Ran into the barrier.
Joe Martin does a great job being tentative as hell during this whole thing.
Yes, and so the
completely
change,
doing a 180.
Yeah. The change is just like, all right, are you really this like terrified? Like, what is happening here? And then
nope.
The switch is amazing.
Like, when she was cast, she wasn't told that she was playing the Doctor, which I find like, I'm wondering where in the process was she actually.
Right, because then that means they have to shoot in semi-order. Like, they can't do the second half of the episode.
Yeah, and usually they do like all the location stuff first, and then go to the studio.
It's like they'll shoot so out of order.
But then the only Doctor stuff really is that one bit on the ship, and then the bit outside.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, it could be as late as the read through.
Yeah. I imagine they have unless they alter it. That like I'm just thinking of like one of the most famous cases that Irvin Kershner tells Mark Hamill before they're shooting the scene of now he's going to say Dave Prowse in the Darth Vader costume is going to say, no, I killed your father, but what you are actually hearing later on is going to be I am your father. He only tells them at that exact moment, like they didn't know up until that point, which I find fascinating. I don't think he could get away with that ruse here, but
well, it works like the element of surprise, like when none of the cast is told that John Hurt would have an alien fly out of him.
Yeah.
And so the reactions are completely legit.
Oh.
Yes!
Now she goes all
I know.
Nikita.
Woo! And you're like, what? Okay, still, what is she? Because
did
that's
Tennant
also
do that when
not...
he was arched?
No, he did not.
No.
The instinct didn't come through.
Like,
Yeah, he's
why
kinda
is
coward.
she so...
So much for the Doctor never wielding a gun.
Right.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's like
Ooh.
fighting way more too.
Can you imagine, like, if Jodie Whittaker finds out basically with Joe? Oh, by the way, this is the new Doctor. So
It's like, okay, well then, this has been my time. Okay, thanks for letting me know.
I'm kind of shocked. Bad websites, of which there are many, haven't ran with that already.
Yeah.
Oh, they probably have. There's probably YouTube.
We've got this covered, being a personal
I've blocked
favorite.
them. Yeah, I was just thinking about them. I hate them with every fiber of my being.
The Russian election interfering bot of entertainment.
It's like, wow, you got that one right. Everyone kind of guessed that would happen, but you throw something at the wall and something will stick.
I do love that, like he doesn't meet the Doctor, which is great because now it's a woman. Yeah. His reaction to knowing that the Doctor is now a lady is worth much more than if he was to meet her in person. Like,
right.
That's what I love. We actually get that bit.
Yeah. And I think with Ruth here is that, like, because she was like fighting the way she was, it's like you're still not like, this is the Time Lord, this is the Doctor. You're just like, okay, so something else is going on with her. I don't know what it is yet.
Like we've sort of been conditioned to sort of like not expect other Time Lords, like in the modern series.
Yeah.
Maybe that's
like
that's me. I don't know what your thinking was at this point in watching the episode, but
yeah, that's fair. Because there's only been like a couple of other like episodes with Time Lords, and it's like they're on Gallifrey or they're like already dead somehow,
or it's the Master, and we've already had the Master this year. So
exactly.
Like I'm glad that we had Sacha Dhawan as the Master, because that immediately put the Master out of our head. Had we not had that, I bet you would have been thinking, "Oh my God."
That would have been a equally crazy twist, though. Yeah. It's like, oh no, are there two Masters this season?
Yeah. Oh,
that would be quite a
good
twist.
point, actually.
She's 44 years old. I'm like, is she the 44th Doctor?
Or the
anything
4.4th,
or the
like
4.4,
negative 44 on the scale.
0.44. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're gonna have to do like negatives.
Oh, yeah,
that
exactly.
From the finale. Like, there's just been like infinite Doctors before one.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, how do we count them now? I can't count them anymore.
I do enjoy the Twitter account. You are fill in the blank as a pre-Hartnell Doctor.
Yeah.
Where they just throw anything and everybody into it.
And like I just remember like everyone, probably including us, like just bending over backwards trying to cram her Doctor into some sort of continuity, and everyone sort of settled on like in between 2 and 3, essentially, because
there was something about the TARDIS like desktop, I think.
Yeah, because it had like
it's the old Type 40 one. Right?
It is kind of
new version of the Type 40.
It's a modernized Hartnell era version of it.
So theoretically, one of those Doctors returned it so that the next Doctor, Hartnell, could steal it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Be full of it.
I know.
I mean, they're gonna just throw things at the wall themselves.
Yeah, what they just did. Yeah.
As much as the fans do, the show does it, and then like, oh, we know that you're thinking that, so we're gonna change it to this. Yeah. I mean, that's more of a Moffat trick, but towards the end, I was just like, all right, just let us be right. Like, why must you prove us wrong every time? It's like, they're just gonna think it's this. I'm gonna change it to that. Just let us be right, because then the story makes sense. Mm-hmm. Anyway.
It gives Big Finish at least 100 years of story ideas. Like, they don't even have to worry. They could cast anyone they want as a Doctor.
Nick probably fainted when he saw this.
True.
Just like, let's get writing.
Are you all right, Nick?
Any person you wanted. Yes. I would hope that, he kind of has to come back in like the next series. If he already isn't there in like the Christmas special that we have yet to see or see anything of here in early September. True. Yeah.
That'd be kind of great if the Christmas special.
Because I feel like this is early enough.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Oh, I feel like it's early enough in this season where they're like, I'll be back. Where it's like, oh, if it's not the finale, it has to be the Christmas special, right? Like, you're just like, this was like definitely like, oh, he'll be back in the finale. And then by the time we got there, I was just like, okay, that's too many pieces that they had to fit into the finale. Yeah. So something was going to have to go. And sadly, it was Jack.
Yeah. Well, I'd even like Chibnall and Barrowman even said, like, you know, I'm not like Barrowman never met Jodie. And Chibnall said, like, I think, yeah, he won't be coming back this year. Like, okay, whatever. You're lying. We know he's coming back. Always he's not coming back. He actually told the truth. But you knew that, like, you know, Barrowman has always said, like, if they want me back on Doctor Who, I will move heaven and earth to make it happen. And so, like, it's not like, oh, we could only get him for this day because you know that he would show up for whatever. Yeah. It's something I really dig about Barrowman is that he is this enormous personality, and if you've ever seen like a live panel of his at a convention, you will know what I'm talking about. And he's the star of Torchwood, and he's a big flamboyant character on and off screen. Yep. But he knows his place when it comes to Doctor Who.
He really does.
Like it's impressive.
Like Utopia is a great example.
He realizes, he just like, I will slot in. I'm third on the bill right here, and that is where I'm.
Even
happy.
Tennant said that for Day of the Doctor. He said, "Well, this is Matt's show, not mine." So.
Yeah.
Right.
I was just going to say, like,
so
a Christmas special will be great between her and Jack. If they're escaping a prison together, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, New Year's.
It was,
that's what they're doing again.
Yeah, I know. Only here did I finally clue in that something bigger is happening than Captain Jack appearing. This long solitary drive to this lighthouse. I'm thinking something is up. What are they going to do here? Because something's coming at me, and I am not prepared for whatever they're trying to do.
It's also a little odd that they're in a car and not the TARDIS or something. But.
Yeah,
that's true.
The last time was in Spyfall. It's just weird to see the Doctor in a car.
Yeah,
and Jodie's probably been in a car the most.
Yeah, that's true.
I think. The first episode, she was in a car, like when she meets
Spyfall?
Right? Yeah, Spyfall, and then like somewhere in the first season.
Yeah, Women Fell to Earth.
Oh, yeah, the first, Women Fell to Earth. Yeah, and I'm like, this is the most I've seen the Doctor in a car ever.
Yeah, they're driving around in Grace's Volvo. That's right.
That's a VW.
Was it a VW she had? I thought she owned a Volvo.
Well, it said VW on the hood.
Yeah. No, Grace's
on the
Grace.
Bonnet. Oh, Grace. Sorry, sorry, not yet.
No. I know my car. I know my car makes, Chris. All right.
No, you don't.
I was going to trust you on that one.
Yeah.
That sure looks like VW to me, yeah.
Yeah, that's a wee bit. Nice drone footage there, too.
Not as nice as the drone footage we have coming up.
That's true.
No, there's a gorgeous shot. Nina Manzoor directed this, by the way, another lady director. It's been pretty neat seeing the diversity sort of increase off screen in Chibnall era Doctor Who.
So important.
Very.
Although that's the thing I was mentioning earlier, like they're getting like writers of color finally on the show, but then they're pulling them into this thing where it's like, okay, well, we have to still make it our thing. And so I think that there's still like a friction there. That would be interesting to see them hopefully figure out. Because I'm sure there are like other writers of color who actually work in television more typically, who would be great at writing for Doctor Who. But they've picked a lot of like playwriters, or at least like that's what they're like well known for.
Yeah.
This shot here.
That is pretty good.
This is a gorgeous shot.
Also, I wonder if the whole playwright thing is like if you're a new showrunner, you want people who are new to TV because then they'll listen to you.
Fair point.
Yeah, honestly, with like the writer's room kind of situation, I mean, it is more of a head writer and subordinate kind of thing.
Yeah, because they like work together in such a different way than American television.
Yeah.
Was Mallory Blackman, was she not a book author primarily?
I think she was, yeah.
Mostly.
Branched out
I think
TV
think she might have written a play, but her like book series is becoming a TV show.
Or Chibnall could just be a huge fan of plays. Who knows? And playwrights.
True.
Because esoteric side note, because Mallory Blackman was on the Great British Menu as a judge during their for an authors kids authors based thing. So I'm pretty sure she started with books anyway. I don't know.
We are about to approach a moment here.
We are.
It's like the two separate things.
Yeah.
A little on the nose as far as her.
The breaking of the glass. I'm just like, all right, they've broken the glass ceiling. We get it.
Right.
You did that the first season.
Oh.
I mean, it's enough of that. It's like, oh, is that?
Yeah. I mean, it is break the. Yeah, there is like, why would it be a police box? But there is no emotional impact if it just looks like a TARDIS, you know?
Yeah.
And she has time for a costume change.
Yeah.
Acting, y'all, acting.
Where'd she get the costumes? In the lighthouse?
Probably.
It must be.
Just like the gun.
Because it's like, oh, I'm going to take it out of the TARDIS
there it is.
here.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, it is.
You got to have a wardrobe scene. You got to have a wardrobe scene.
Yeah, it's like a proper regeneration.
Why is this on the Apple box? Unless this version of the Doctor came to Earth during the 60s.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
That's why it's broken that way.
Boom.
Okay. So here we go.
But Connie. It is a pristine one.
Yeah. There is,
music swelling.
I adored the montage and all the clips of like women seeing the launch video for Jodie Whittaker and just seeing how much it meant to them. And I wish that there was a similar montage.
Oh, that would have been cool.
Of Black ladies seeing this moment and how much it meant to them.
Yeah, obviously Black Girls Create is like a community. We're on Twitter and we have a Slack community where we'll like, if Doctor Who's on, people will like be in a little Twitter, in a Slack thread, like talking about it. And there's was just like hundreds of messages going. And what's like, what
several people typing.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. It's just like, oh, Twitter's exploded.
Yeah.
It's like I can't even keep up with my timeline anymore.
Well, I listened to your the TARBIS episode where you talked about this, and you said that you were actually kind of spoiled for the reveal.
Yes, because I just remember it because the British air ahead of time, and people were already tweeting about it, and I was trying to like stay off of it, but I think I saw just like one thing, and I don't remember what it is right now. Maybe I said it in the episode, but I was just like, oh, I think there's a thing, and a few people were like, you're going to want to watch tonight's episode.
Right.
I was like, all right. I mean, I have to because I do a podcast about it. But they're like, no. You have to do it like on time. I'm like, all right. Because sometimes I'll like watch it an hour later, skip commercials on BBC America. And they're like, no. You have to watch it like on time. I'm like, okay, I will. But generally, like, I was avoiding most spoilers. But I did see something that was just like, okay. And then the general, like, buzz of, British Twitter, having seen it was just like, okay, this means it's going to, I wasn't going into it thinking it was in like a normal episode, Yeah. I have to be better about like not being on Twitter on the day the Doctor Who's coming on.
I'm so terrified.
But sometimes I want to know if it's a like dull reaction. I kind of want to know that because then I'm like, all right, I could wait an hour.
Right.
It's like I was doing something else. It's Sunday. Why are we airing this on Sunday?
Yeah. I'm like airplane mode. It's like, no, phone's off like this, until I can watch it.
This rear projection they got going here to make it slightly different than the old TARDIS.
Yeah. And even the BBC, like or the Doctor Who Twitter account, was saying, okay, like I think it was the Monday or maybe even the Tuesday. They said, okay, at this point, like at noon on Tuesday, we're going to start tweeting pictures and stuff.
Right,
so make sure that you've watched everything.
Yeah,
like they were even like worried about. Yeah, like we aired it like 2 days ago, but this is your last chance.
People were still mad.
Yeah.
It's like, well, they warned you.
So the costume is amazing.
Yes.
Especially the glasses are great.
Ankara.
The brain
glasses
are,
the shirt.
Yeah,
which
the Ankara prints.
Yeah, which I find is, I'm wondering if there is like a sort of a disconnect between what the costume is doing and what the dialogue was, because Jodie sort of like cuts down on the shirt, and I'm wondering if like the specific costume wasn't written into the script, and only Ray Holman, when he designed the costume, like actually sought out an African silkscreen print for it, and so the insult was just for a generic kind of shirt, but then Ray Holman had to actually make a personal awesome connection to make the shirt, and that line stayed in, and it is kind of unfortunate because it kind of like makes it looks like she's dumping on African culture,
but you're all rainbows and trousers that don't reach was also a great comeback, though.
Doctors have to insult each other. Yeah, absolutely.
Fancy
Like,
pants,
classic.
scarecrow.
Yeah.
Classic
What is the
line.
point of having pants that don't go like why you have an ankle? Like, I don't understand.
And also, it's great seeing the Doctor out of their element, like being the one learning everything.
Yeah.
Because Ruth is just like, I command, I run this.
She's totally a time lord.
She's the
so
doctor.
damn smug.
Yeah. But and you're thinking like, what is this? Like, she's got the gun? Like, this is not. Okay, well, maybe now, but like the fact that she, like, the first thing she does
get a gun out,
after
yeah.
she discovers who she is get the gun, you know?
Yeah. Also, the enemy's, her name is Gat, which, also slang for a gun.
It also screws me up because it's the name of one of the characters in Saints Row the Third.
Is it really? Gatling.
Shut up. Oh, she's tiny. Yeah, I don't know how tall Jodie is.
She's 5'4".
5'4". Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
But her action figure is like she's like 6'1". It's like,
she's about the same size as Capaldi, action figure wise.
Yeah, which is inaccurate. She's taller than Colin Baker. If I was Colin Baker, I'd be really
He's 6'3" or something. Isn't he? He's not short.
He's 6'1" or 6'2", I think. Yeah. The height of. I do love it. Like now, like the Doctor is arrogant, like it just in general, and it's awesome that Jodie's Doctor, is just like, oh, I know what I'm doing. I'm the Doctor, right?
It's like, you don't have all the details, dear.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she has been 12 arrogant men previously, so.
Yeah.
And apparently many, many more. So.
Yeah.
Apparently many, many more. Duh. I was like, why would you?
Oh, Joe Martin's only an inch taller. She's 5'5".
Really?
She's got the heels on though, I think too. As
Must
part of the
do.
And Jodie's just got the boots.
Yeah.
It is rare in Doctor Who that we have a climactic scene featuring 4 ladies, if you include the Judoon as the 4th. It's usually there's a man in there somewhere. It's
yeah.
And whenever I see,
their conversation passes Bechdel.
Yeah, it does, right? And I'm so tired of like, and like, it's too woke. I don't like Chibnall, his stuff. Like, just stop beating around the bush. Say you don't like women. Just say you don't like women, so we just get this over with. All right, you don't like women. That's why the show.
All the Not My Doctor people, like when this aired, I'm like, good, just suck on this.
It's just
like
I
a
want
rotten
them to
lemon.
be annoyed. Yeah. Like, think of the moment. Think of the moment when all those women saw Jodie Whittaker being announced as the Doctor, and think how that felt. Think of all the women of color who saw Joe Martin say, I'm the Doctor, and how that made them feel. And think of how the first 53 years of the show's history, where we have never had to think that at all because it's been presented to us as us. We've never had to make that leap or that connection. We've had it very, very easy. And I can enjoy the show as much, if not more so, when I know that it's being a lot more inclusive to the community around it.
Yeah. And that's not to say Chips is perfect, because it's hilarious that people are like, it's too woke. And I'm like, you can go harder.
Yeah.
Always go harder.
All right. Like, if y'all think this is bad, like, imagine what's in my brain of what it could be doing right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, at this moment in the season, I want to say, like, so Grace died, and in that episode, like, again, watching Twitter while that episode aired was fascinating because, like, you could see it coming, and you're like, oh, they better not do what I think they're about to do. And so she dies, and, everyone's like, all right, like, you didn't have to start the season this way, a new Doctor this way. And then I want to say, like, 2 other, like, minor Black women characters, like, supporting and, like, guest, and, like, one, like, throwaway, like, very brief image of someone who appeared to be Black on the screen, like, died in the season. I'm just like, all right, so if this woman dies in this episode, again, I have to roll up on Chibnall because this seems personal.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, sir, if you don't act right, you're going to have an entire platoon of women Black women flying across the ocean to come see
Pandemic
you
or no?
in Wales.
Yeah.
Right, like Cardiff, what's the address? Like, I just want to talk. We just want to talk. We just want to have a conversation. And so at this point in the season, it was just like, all right, I'm not feeling the patterns that are happening here. And I think a lot of it's like they're not noticing the patterns, and you just have to like push them to like see the patterns overall. You know, like you can't shoot each episode in a vacuum because we're noticing it as a full season and a progression of things. And so when she came here, and it's like, all right, at some point she is technically going to die. And that's just the note, like that's the doctor, you know, like there's no getting around it. Like she's going to regenerate into something, whether or not it's like a past doctor we've met before or a future one, but it's still like, it's like we have nuance. We understand that like at that point it's fine. But if you hadn't had the like 3 deaths previous, we wouldn't be as like, kind of like
annoyed.
All right. Yeah. It's like we're very delighted, but also we're gonna have to watch her die, and that's gonna suck.
Yeah.
Because she's great.
And she returns. I haven't watched any episodes past this again. And you know, because as we get closer to the end of the before times, as I'll call it, it's like my memory is foggy for like episodes 9 and 10. I don't know if she comes back in 10. Yeah.
Again, I had no idea this even aired this year.
Yeah, I know.
It's like this was in November, last November, right?
Yeah.
It was February.
It was February. Yeah, it was literally early this year. I cannot believe it, but
because it premiered on the first of the year. Spyfall was the New Year's episode.
It was 2020. Yeah, when you think of 2020, you think, oh, that was that year with that Doctor Who series, right? No.
Because it didn't air at all last year.
Didn't air at all last year. Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Look at these innocents. Look at these innocents making their TV show in 2019.
Right.
That utopia year of 2019.
And they're probably doing 16-hour days going, oh, this is the worst thing that could ever happen to me. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Right. I can't wait to go on my vacation.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Jodie is fabulous in this. I love that they've added some weight to her character now, and that you know, I mean, it's fun when, you know, Doctor Who and her friends go off on adventures and stuff, and it's all kind of like a little bit distant, but now there are stakes. And I know sometimes the show broods, I think, a little too much for its own good.
Sure.
But
she's
it's
the first Doctor after the Time Wars, kind of like a more distant memory, you know?
Yeah.
Because like Capaldi's Doctor was still like reeling with it, and like Gallifrey was still like inaccessible to him and stuff. So I think it's like, oh, well, the weight of all of that is like a little more distant from her character. And they're like, well, you're the Doctor though, so it's not going to be easy again. Right. It's like, oh, and the Master's just immediately going to go back and destroy the whole thing. Cool.
Yeah.
You don't know me one little bit because you won't tell them about yourself.
Yeah, come on. Quit being mysterious, which is what every TV show
Which
does.
I also kind of like. I know, I like that. I kind of like that they're kind of dumb. The family's a bit dumb. They're thinking, let's go off. We have no idea where she's from or what her actual name is, but sure, we'll fly off in this mysterious, fun space-time box with her. Sure.
They're together. They're like, if anything happens, at least we have each other. It's not like Rose going off. It's like you don't know anything about this character and you're going off into space with him by yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the Doctor, you would think that after 13 cycles plus, the Doctor would finally learn, like, maybe I should tell the companions some really key things before they run off with me.
Nope.
Like, so here are the rules. I might regenerate at some point. I'm from a planet called Gallifrey. Lots of people like to attack me from there. You know, it's no big deal. We're just going to do this one thing, and then it'll probably be fine. I'll just drop you off, and before any of that other stuff happens. But just in case, here's a little packet of things you need to know.
Yeah. We saw the Lee dossier earlier. Maybe the Doctor should have like a little.
Or you've got Ruth handing out pamphlets. Why doesn't the Doctor make a pamphlet to give to them?
Pamphlet, PowerPoint, you know, anything like that.
Yep.
I've totally forgotten what the next one is.
Yeah, I do love
introducing Joe Martin as the Doctor.
Yes.
In the credits.
It did.
It's in the credits. I love that. Like a bunch of people were like taking screenshots of it and sharing it all around. That was really cool.
They should have said as Doctor Who.
A couple days later, Chibnall came out and said, "Yep, she's the doctor. There's no trickery here."
And then it's like, okay, no,
up.
you're breaking my brain more because
he's lying. How? He's like, gotta be lying. Come on, he gets but no.
Where, when, how? It's just like, oh, all right. I feel like I liked the Judoon episode and then like the finale and the first one, and all the rest of the episodes. I'm just like, all right, there's a lot going on here. I like had no idea what was happening in any of the other episodes, and like that's common in Doctor Who, but it felt a little worse this season to me.
Maybe just because it aired 14 years ago.
That's true.
Maybe
true.
Your memory just isn't as it was. I know that's my excuse for it.
No idea. Like, when is the show ever coming back? Because I think it was going to come back for either Christmas or New Year, and then I'm not even sure if they decided when it was going to come back, and now who knows? Because anybody who's shooting anything right now is like, we had to shut down production because 3 people got COVID. So who knows? I don't know what's going on in the UK with filming and production and stuff like that. So
as we record this, there's recently the announcement that Amanda Gill and Jodie Whittaker would be doing a virtual panel at New York Comic Con. By the time this goes out, that will be
a month old.
Long ago since it happened. So we might know more by then.
Answered nothing.
Right.
Nothing. That's how these panels go.
Exactly. It's like, we're not saying anything. It's like, Archaea, but are you two going to be a thing? Because everyone wants you to be a thing. And it's just like, well, we can't say, but it's just the two of you right here. And you guys have so much good chemistry, like in real life. Like, and we can't say anything. And then, on and on. This is going to fuel the flames of the Thasman flames.
Think of the moment, though, when we get the Thasman thing come to fruition. And they're just like, we don't want to be told that in advance, do we?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Get some sort of surprise. Connie, this has been a blast.
Thank you for having me.
Watching this,
where I might have fought for it, but it's fine,
Oh God, no! It was a win. But listen, some of the other commentators said we love that episode, but we feel that there should be someone else commenting on it. And so,
I was like, I'll take it. Thanks.
I'm so glad you stepped up to the plate.
It's a really good episode, and like I think when it aired, like I don't always write about Doctor Who because I have a podcast where I just ramble about it for an hour plus. But like the episode aired and I immediately was like typing things like, okay, here we go. It's like it just like all poured out of me, and then I like someone DM'd me from IO9 like, do you want to write about it? I'm like, here you go. In an hour, I was just like, is this draft okay? Is this what you're looking for?
It's like you broke the glass of the lighthouse, but just all the
glass
words.
Of my writing, the writer's block was the glass was broken there, and it hasn't happened since. So, I really enjoyed that. This episode like made me feel like the best episodes of Doctor Who do. And it's been kind of a long time since I felt that. Like I didn't feel that for a lot of 12's run. I think like. And like I like Chibnall and I like the where the stories are going and stuff, but a lot of his episodes don't have the same like mystery weight that a lot of like earlier Moffat did, and so I missed that feeling. The like before Moffat like went off the deep end with like a lot of those stories and the mystery behind them, it's just like the energy and adrenaline that Doctor Who can give you sometimes. This episode really gave that back to me, and I really appreciated it for that.
Yeah. I think so too. It was a big step up in this season, and it's basically just the Capaldi era for me too. So
and who knows what's going to happen next? Like you can't predict where they're going to go with it, which is
or when.
Yeah,
exactly.
That too.
Exactly. So that's also a cool feeling. So hopefully it is satisfactory when it gets here.
Yeah, whenever that may be.
Whenever that is.
Yeah. Where can people find your stuff on the internet there, Connie?
So mostly you can find me at Constar24 on Twitter, Instagram, things like that. My like writing portfolios at constarwrites.com, and you can check out all things Black Girls Create at blackgirlscreate.org.
Awesome.
Including TARDIS, Time and Relative Blackness in Space, because I'm really proud of that title. Robin came up with it, and I was just like, that's it, that's the one. And that's on all the places where podcasts are.
Very cool. Very cool indeed. And I look forward to you having the opportunity to review episodes again sometime in the future.
Whenever that is. But in the meantime, we'll be stumbling through some classic Who on our Patreon. So if anyone wants to hear two black girls watch, the first Doctor, be sexist.
Yeah.
Hooray!
Don't hold your breath for even representation in 1960 TV, but do your best.
Yeah, we're trying. Do
your best. All right. Next week, you saw it. Praxius will be our commentary. We'll do that one as we embark in the second half of Series 12 in our commentary series. So join us for that. Until next time, I am Stephen in Edmonton.
Warren in Vancouver.
Chris in Edmonton.
Connie in Harlem.
So long for now.
You've been listening to Radio Free Skaro. Find us online at radiofreeskaro.com. Follow us on Twitter and Tumblr at Radio Free Skaro. Subscribe to us on iTunes and donate to the show at patreon.com/Radio Free Skaro. Thank you.